Hello. It is Hump Day Wednesday. Yes, it is. Hi.
Oh, sorry, that was your mic.
We're going to do it again.
Is this my mic?
This is my mic. Fix me.
You're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do it again.
No, you're good. Oh, you can do your intro.
Okay. Intro.
All right.
Okay.
From the top.
Hey. Hey, it's your girl, Miss J, live at the Sugar Shack on BigExposedRadio.com. It is I. And we have who?
Romeo.
We have who? Oh,
The engineer.
oh my God.
I'm on it. I'm getting on it. All right.
You know what? We're going to rewind this one more time.
We're not going to judge you.
Because it's Hump Day Wednesday, I'm going to give my baby a pass. Okay, we're going to do it again?
All right, I think everybody's good.
Okay. Should I start again?
Can you say something?
Can I say something?
Ah, there we go.
Okay. Hey, it's your girl, Miss J, live at the Sugar Shack on BigExposedRadio.com. I have to my right.
Romeo, no longer the intern.
Oh, really?
I'm just simply Romeo now.
Okay. Congratulations.
Well, according to your contract,
Hey,
you're still the intern.
hey.
We're going to talk about that.
I'm no longer an intern. I'm just simply Romeo,
Well, start posting.
the guy on the right.
Start posting then. The guy on the right. All right. And we have who?
The engineer, you know,
Okay.
doing me.
So we had a little technical difficulties today. But we have, we've been having a lot of great guests to bring to At the Sugar Shack on Be Exposed Radio. And it's going to get even better. A lot of surprises coming up. I'm proud to say that all our listeners, you can give us a call at 1-855-835-5857. Thank you. Or you may text us at
443-642-9403.
That's great. Now, how was everybody's day today around the room?
My day was lovely. Thank you.
Oh,
My day was good. I got off early. I need a haircut, though.
okay.
Yeah, I do too. Don't feel bad. I thought today was Monday, and I had an appointment today. So, we know how that went.
Okay. Well, my day was lovely also. And on that note, we have a great guest today. Author and motivational speaker, Mr. David J. Rogers. Fighting to win, the samurai techniques for your work in your life, waging business warfare, lessons from the military masters, and achieving competitive superiority. So that means he's going to get us together on a personal level and a business level, because we all need inspiration one way or another. Mm-hmm. Ring bell.
Ding, ding.
Ringling-ling.
Oh my God. Yesterday.
That was a very fun.
Yesterday was really fun, Robbie. Yeah, you missed it. Me and Robbie cut it up yesterday. So, in the news today, you know what I found very interesting?
What's that?
That when people get married, you think it's supposed to be a happy occasion. But you find that they're fighting with family, caterers,
Each other. Dogs, cats.
Dogs and cats and babies, because nobody wants to act right. And it's supposed to be a joyous occasion. But it's a stressful job. So I was reading this article, and it says, groom chases thief who stole gifts from vow renewal from the sermon.
That is outright lies. That is not true.
So it says a Kansas groom chased a thief down the street when he spotted the man trying to make off with the gifts from the wedding vow renewal reception. So the groom and his wife are at the Scottish Rite Temple in downtown Joplin when the mother yelled that someone had taken cards and gifts from the table in the lobby. Who is so bold as to do that?
You the food now, baby.
So, where do you think you're going to go by taking off with the gift box? Like, no one is going to see you. Is that even possible?
I wonder if it was one of those things where he kind of stood there, like, awkwardly for, like, 5 seconds. Like, he was kind of like...
Contemplating, checking his surroundings.
Should I do it?
Should I do it? Should I not do it? Scratching his head.
Should I do it or no?
And then he just slowly but surely just getting closer and closer.
Closer and closer and closer. Knowing that everybody else is watching the gift table too.
Yeah.
Watching who's putting what into the box. Because some people put straight money in there. They don't even wrap the gift money up. Some people put it in an envelope. Some people put it in the sleeve, the the money sleeve envelope, or they might put it in a regular envelope, or others just put straight cash in the box.
And don't care.
And they don't care because they feel as though it's going straight to the bride and the groom. That nobody else is going to touch it.
Little did he know.
Little did he know. Now, the question that I want to know, was he even a part of the wedding? Wedding guest, wedding party, who is he? And where did he think he was going? And especially, you don't do that at a black wedding.
Right. With all of his
You,
cousins.
Exactly.
And Junior Bug and Junior.
with the baby gun.
And Junior. Everybody's there.
Everybody. And it's always a junior.
The third.
The third or the fourth.
You know what's weird? I know somebody, right, who got a family member, and all right, hold on, let me remember. She has a niece and a daughter who are like sisters. So she got a niece and she has a daughter, but both of them are sisters.
Maury Povich. Jerry Springer.
Yeah,
More Jerry Springer than Maury Povich.
that's crazy.
So,
Jesus.
they know?
Yeah.
Okay. And what do they call each other?
I don't
It could
know.
be an adoption thing.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it was.
This is really blood
Yeah,
related.
God slept with both of the sisters and got both of them pregnant. So
So, the sister is the sister, right? Well, the sister is the
all right, so it's two sisters,
two sisters.
and it's the
One guy.
He got both of them pregnant.
Okay. So,
2 kids pop out.
so the baby
Baby A
and baby B
and baby B.
could be boy and girl.
Yeah,
And they are now brothers and sisters
And cousins.
and cousins.
yeah.
Ring the bell. Or, something.
Shout out to him.
Like, who... See, it's very interesting that guys would even go there. And a female blood related will allow that. It's so many guys out here. Why would you sleep with your sister's man? Why would you, as the man, sleep with your sister, your girlfriend's sister? Just to say you banged 2 sisters? That's very interesting. And I know a lot of people have either attempted or actually got away with that. So how does one sleep with them? Sleep with themselves, but they're not sleeping with themselves. No pun intended. But how does one, after that does you how would you even look the person in the face after to say we were wrong?
Like, hey, can you watch my? Can you watch your child's sister? Can you watch your niece?
Yeah, and now that I'm pretty sure they're probably around the same age. So now you have a lifetime of animosity between two sisters because the one who originally had him, of course she's going to be mad at the sister because you were wrong and you should have known not to go there to sleep with my man, to brush up on my man. Shout out and ring the alarm or the boom of never letting the opposite sex stay with you, because things can go horribly wrong.
Yes, they can. I can't find this story.
So, do you know if they were staying together?
I don't know that. I just know the two children ended up being cousins and sisters
And best friends.
all that.
All that. They aunts and nieces as well.
So family functions is very, very awkward.
Get your baby.
Can you hear me hitting the buttons?
Yes.
Nah, let me just turn the mic down.
Yes, I can hear you hitting the buttons. So, guess what? So, yesterday's show, shout out to Bobby Thompson and Elena Nicole Scola, they asked for us to attend the transgender conference in Atlanta. That's pretty big to do interviews. I said, okay, I would like that.
In
What
Atlanta?
is it?
In Atlanta.
Wait, so they want, like, the Sugar Shack to come down there?
Mm-hmm.
So, are y'all going to be, like, broadcasting?
I don't know yet.
I always want to go to Atlanta.
She sent me an email, once again, hey Bobby, to invite us to do the interviews and make the rounds.
And what's her name?
Bobby Thompson and Elena Nicole Scola.
Shout out.
So I'm very excited about that. That's huge to attend the transgender conference in Atlanta. So I'm very happy about that. Yeah, you missed a good show yesterday.
Hit the word.
So
Who works anymore?
Me, sadly.
What a loser.
at least
Hey, where did you get off early from today?
Unemployment?
okay.
What a loser. I can't find this story, and it's stressing me out, of this lady being locked up for calling this guy numerous of times.
I'm stalker.
No, like, she was in the thousands, and text messages was in the 2000s, and
Beyond stalker.
the voicemails was showed up because of her.
Okay.
And he said he only slept with her once.
Well, when you sleep with somebody the first time, you kind of know going in if you want to continue the communication. Because if a person is just a little too thirsty with the conversation, you kind of know moving forward it's going to be a one-night stand. So when they're blowing your phone up prior to the intimacy, you know afterwards they're going to blow your phone up even more because they thought you got the good. I'd like to hear from the fellas. 1-855-835-5857, or you may text us at
443-642-9403.
You know, I got a question.
sure.
We have an answer.
It's really hard to deal with a virgin
No, it is.
as a man. Yeah, it is.
Huh?
What was that? Left field.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just popped in my head. Like, taking a girl's virginity? What do you have to say about that, Miss J?
For a guy to take a girl's virginity at what age?
18.
So the female is 18?
18 to like 20-ish. 18, 19, 20. Those.
And she's the virgin.
Yeah.
And how old is he?
19, 20.
So
They're around the same age.
okay. So being a virgin at 18, that's good. I think that shows a lot of strength and dedication, because obviously at 18, the values that have been installed in that person, they're not going to the left. They want to stay on the straight and narrow, and no matter how much temptation is out there, that they can even last at age 18. My goodness, this kid's having sex at 10 and 11.
Get your baby.
So for someone to be at 18, 19 and still a virgin, I applaud them. And if they can go beyond that, there's plenty of people that are still virgins up until almost 30. Would I do it again? Yeah, I would. I would save my virginity, because it wasn't a great experience my first time.
Would you do it again, Robbie?
Save my virginity?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. I mean, see, that's the thing. It's not really that big of a deal for guys, because it's way easier to stick your in something.
Penal gland.
Yeah, instead of getting something stuck inside of you, like
The hot pocket.
yeah, your hot pocket getting, filled with pepperoni. That's a hard thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Laugh, but
I like that.
anyway, yeah, it's a tough thing to do.
Yeah, because people can be easily influenced, meaning the temptation of, especially a guy, if they know that she's a virgin, they're going to do everything in their power, especially a player, to bed the virgin, because they feel as though that's a conquest. To climb that mountain and
Do what you gotta do.
do what needs to be done and brag about
Put the
it.
snow on the mountain.
Put the snow on the mountain
And then dip.
and dip
Who now,
from
baby?
from the mountaintop. And the poor girl is, she might be all in love from the first time. Like, she's given up her lifelong piece of value and giving it to someone who really particularly didn't care less.
So, is it true that when a girl loses her virginity to a guy, they become like emotionally attached to that person?
Oh, yeah. Because, once again, they're giving something that's special away. So, they're thinking, some people might, this is the person I'm going to be with, because I'm giving myself to this person, everything of me I'm giving to this person. But the person on the other end, like I said, just has their own intentions, and it's not to be long term,
At all.
unfortunately. So once again, do you know any virgins?
Yeah.
A real virgin.
A real virgin.
A real virgin.
Are they happy being a virgin, or do they feel as though they're missing something?
They're kind of like, they don't know. They know they're not missing anything, and they're not trying to rush it either. Like, I dealt with a virgin before. That's why I'm asking.
How was that?
I mean, we didn't do anything.
How was the communication?
It was
and
good.
The temptation, was there any on their part? Or they refrained?
They were refraining. They were pretty in,
Like I said, it takes a lot of strength to do that. It takes a lot of strength to be a virgin, and it takes a lot of strength to be celibate.
And it takes a lot of strength to admit.
That you're celibate and you're a virgin.
And not lie.
and not lie.
Because I've been a virgin so many times.
What?
I've been a virgin to so many different people.
No, you can't say you're a virgin.
baby.
You're celibate.
Can you imagine if I was a virgin again? I could do what that girl did.
And sell your stuff?
Yes, and sell my... She got paid $1.5 million for her virginity.
First you running out on you dining and dashing, and now you selling yourself. Where are your morals, sir?
$1.5 million. What morals?
You going down. So, have y'all heard the story of, I thought this was very interesting because y'all know I'm a nerd, so.
Nerds are
Bigfoot.
cool.
I know. We wear glasses, we read
I
a
like
lot.
nerds.
So, Bigfoot. They have found hair samples, mostly from bears and wolves. So the DNA testing is taking a bite of the Bigfoot legend after scientists analyzed more than 30 hair samples reportedly left behind by Bigfoot and similar mythical beasts in the Himalayan Yeti. My tongue is so tired.
Himalayan?
Thank you. Yesterday and today. They found all of them came from more mundane creatures like bears, wolves, cows, and raccoons.
Cow.
So, another thing that I found out, another weird scientist thing. Did you know shrimp are related to cockroaches?
I'm never eating shrimp again.
Sure.
I'm
Food now, baby.
I ain't got no problem with shrimp.
Yes. My son actually brought it to my attention and showed me the article. Yes. So shrimp are in the same family as cockroaches.
I just heard my mother say, "Oh no."
Yes, sister, yes. But that's not going to stop people at all from eating it.
I can't do that.
So would you still continue eating shrimp?
Most definitely.
It wouldn't stop me.
It definitely wouldn't stop me. Nope.
Not at all?
Nope. I eat some shrimp. I ain't gonna never eat a cockroach, but I eat a shrimp though.
That wouldn't be very appealing, really.
But
So
then again,
you
you
think-
never know what you'll do.
Right. Especially when money's involved.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
What is up with your money, man?
And your
We need to
fear-
talk.
and
Money, you know, the pursuit or the greed for money is evil. You know how people say money is the root of all evilness when it's really not. It's actually the greed for money is the root of all evil.
I mean, if you watch Fear Factor, they eating roaches for what? Money.
So, back to the story of...
Oh, yeah, about Bigfoot.
No, about the cockroaches and the shrimp. So, things like shrimp, lobster, and cockroaches, they have swine's flesh. The fact that all these things are clearly identified in Leviticus 11 as being unclear, an abomination to our Father. He created all things to serve a specific purpose, but not everything is to be considered food. Leviticus 11:11, thou shalt be an abomination to you. You shall not eat their flesh, but you shall regard their carcass as an abomination. So basically, people are completely unaware that shrimp, lobster, and cockroaches are all related. Yes. Yes. They're known to spread several diseases to humans, livestock, crops, but they're important because they're marine freshwater animals. Yes.
No.
Yes. You will never look at shrimp in the market ever again the same. I actually picked up a bag, but
Let me get that.
let me get that $19 bag right there.
Don't worry about me.
Don't worry about me. It's why I'm peeling it back, and
You gotta be like, now I know what I'm eating.
now I know what I'm eating. I'm consuming a couple of them, but still in the back of my mind,
It's gonna be
cockroaches. That's crazy, right?
like y'all related.
Oh my God. That's-
Cousins and sisters. Mm-hmm.
Cousins and sisters. Incest.
All that.
Kisters.
Cousins.
But then it's saying, did Jesus make all things clean? For centuries, we've been taught by the church fathers that Jesus seems to make all things clean. But making the flesh of rodents and swines nutritious? Or have we built this position on the backs of a few grossly misrepresentation of animals? So, since everything is no good for us, food-wise, everything is bad.
Yes.
So it's either you're going to eat protein, which is everything that got 2 legs or 4 legs, or you're going to be a vegetarian, but that's not even good for you because,
It's slim than none.
yeah.
You ain't eating meat.
So what is it? What is there left?
Candy. Little Debbie's.
Diabetes.
Yep.
And if you are a vegetarian, you're not going to eat Jello and stuff like that because there's pork in it. I actually learned a vegetarian that doesn't eat Jello because it has pork in it.
Well, we're going to come back because we have our special guest. So this is Miss J
This is Romeo.
and our engineer Robbie, live at the Sugar Shack on BigExposedRadio.com. We'll be back.
From north, east, south, and west, you're listening to BeExposedRadio.com. From north, east, south, and west, you're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
It's time for a flashback.
And this gay guy got beat up at the Detroit Gay Pride. And there's a video of it. My problem with the video is that no one helped. No one stopped it. And he didn't get just beat up like by 2 or 3 people. He got beat up like 8 or 10 people. He got banked. And literally everybody, the one person that was recording just kept yelling out, first of all, you fucking bitch. She just kept yelling out, World Star Hip Hop, World Star Hip Hop. Okay, yeah, get the proof that this happened. But your dumbass, weak-ass camera phone, you can't see a damn person's face. How about you upgrade? So you can get your pixelation together inside your electronic devices. Because you shouldn't be videographing anything with a phone like that. Gosh, Cricket user, I can't stand her. Anyway, let's move on.
All new Talk Lately is every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Join the club that gives you stuff. Hey, thanks! Radio Loyalty. Here's how it works. Just click on the Radio Loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then, you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for stuff in the Radio Loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple, right? Radio Loyalty. Click that banner to join now.
What I'm saying, like back then when they were brand new, maybe in a new edition video we can see something, you know, like just one, because all you need is one switch out of order, and all of a sudden it's like, oh snap, because you know, like when guys try to cover, but like they're, even when they're older, but particularly when they're young, always a slip up, something happens, or they might use one wrong word, like say but the way they say they purse their lips.
As soon as they say fierce.
Yeah, or one wrong word from the children's vocabulary, exactly, fierce. Or they look a little too comfortable with that Heineken bottle. They tone it up and flip that pinky out. Even though there's nothing wrong with the pinky out. I mean, you know, I I know it's womanly, but come on. That's like, you know how women cross their legs like this? You can't stereotype that just because a man crosses his legs like this, that, you know. So comfortable. You would think he'd be crunching something, right? But that's how you tell who's holding and who's not. Whoever crosses like this ain't holding. Hung like a pimple. Or tucking. Fierce. All right, look, we need to go into a break.
So, you know, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place, and then they act so surprised when I find them, but I'm like, hello, that's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
You are now listening to TheExposedRadio.com.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. The only thing I didn't learn in school today is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
From north, east, south, and west, you're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
So, you know, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place, and then they act so surprised when I find them, but I'm like, hello, that's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
So, you know, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place, and then they act so surprised when I find them, but I'm like, hello, that's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Welcome back. This is your girl, Miss J, on BeExposedRadio.com at the Sugar Shack every Monday through Friday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And I have to my right
Romeo.
And I have on the phone our special guest, Mr. David Rogers. Welcome.
Welcome. Well, thank you. Welcome to you, too. Nice talking to you.
Thank you very much.
This is my home. I'm sitting in my office in my house about 30 miles north of Chicago on the banks of Lake Michigan on a beautiful day.
Really rubbing it in, aren't you, David? What a beautiful day.
Yeah. So maybe can I talk a little bit about the book now?
You can. Why don't you introduce yourself? I'll let you go ahead and tell our listeners who you are and what you do.
Okay, my name is David J. Rogers. There are many David Rogers, so I add the J so people can distinguish me in that way. The book, it's an e-book that I'll be talking about today. I have two of them that are currently out, brand new. The one I'll be talking about today is called Fighting to Win, Samurai Techniques for Your Work and Life. It's on sale on Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble and other places, too, and it's cheap. it was named, the book, I'm proud to say this, I'm a modest person, but I'm proud of this, so I'll say it, that the book was on an Internet Readers Poll named it the best self-improvement motivational book ever written. So if you want to be motivated, it's a book to read. I've often thought that it would be very nice if people could live, had been granted 2 lives. The first, an experimental existence. We could make mistakes, all the mistakes we want, going this way, going that, trying this thing, trying that thing. And we would then correct our mistakes in our second life, our real life. Then we would become the person we were always meant to be, the real you, the real me, the real person. But we have but one life. But this one life can be changed in an instant. It can become 2 lives, the life before the changes and the life after them. We are perfectly free, and I want to get that across to you. We are perfectly free to start fresh at will on a new course, a more fruitful course of life, a better course any moment we wish, putting aside past disappointments, discouragements, false starts, and failures. We can have a new beginning. To make some changes, it was very important to me to write an original book, because I thought to make such changes, what do we need? To start fresh, we must have new information, new insights, new skills, and new inspirations. And that's what I tried to do in the book, Fighting to Win, Samurai Techniques for Your Work and Life. My background is, I have advanced degrees. I've written 9 books. I was a consultant in the area. I'm very interested in people becoming the most they can become to make full use of their capacities. So I've concentrated quite many years on work life and improving people's performance in work life so that they feel more satisfied with themselves and more fulfilled. And I work with General Motors, Chrysler, ABC, NBC, PepsiCo, and a number of major corporations, as well as smaller corporations as well. So I've done an awful lot of consulting. I'm a public speaker and have spoken to 150,000 people across the globe, here, Canada, and Europe. I've never been to the Orient, though I write about the Orient. The title of the book is Fighting to Win. Now, you'll be calling in soon, but I want to give you a little background on what the book is, because it's been called unique, and I'm proud of that. The basis of the book is that we are in constantly, from morning to night, from the first day of the year to the last, in combat, in fight with obstacles, blocks, standing between ourselves and our goals and purposes, the solutions of our problems, and a better life. And so to achieve those things, we have to become better fighters. And I don't mean fighting in the sense of punching someone in the nose or even arguing. All great people have been fighters. All great people have been fighters. All people who make their mark have been fighters. And that's what this book is about. It's not fighting in a cruel way, a nasty way. When we say about a woman, she's very sick, but she's a real fighter. She's fighting for her health. Well, that's the kind of thing the book is about, people fighting for their health. I'll give you briefly a little bit more. I hope you're not impatient right now.
No,
there are 2 types of opponents or blocks that we run into all the time. Outer blocks are forces, hindrances, or impediments out in the world beyond you that you have to overcome or eliminate if you are to succeed in changing your life for the better. Anything standing between you and a better life, your prosperity and well-being, is an outer block. Inner blocks are more powerful. Those are in your spirit and in your mind. You and I grew up believing that our main blocks were outside us, out in the world, but they're not. And you know they're not blocks. All you have to do is reflect on your own life to see that the big blocks are inside, in your mind, in your spirit. If you call in now, let's strike a conversation with you, we can talk more about what those blocks are.
And I like that you put a lot of emphasis on structuring work and life, your personal life and your business life.
Yeah,
and some people
exactly
cannot pull the 2 apart, where they're in a rat race of putting everything together as one, and you can't do that. Because you lose your
know,
mind.
You know, frankly, I'm a believer in hard work. And I'm a tremendous worker myself. I work long hours, and I enjoy it. I love working. One of my favorite pastimes is the study of artists. And I love artists because they're unique and they're striking people. They're unusual people. And one reason why is they're such tremendous workers. I've often thought you cannot separate them from their work. They want to work. They want to do more work. They're the best workers there are. And I've tried to model my own life after that. So work to me, I do the work that I love. Doing this work, I am doing myself. It's not alien to me. It's exactly what I wanted to do. It's what I wanted to do. What I do now is what I wanted to do since I was in the 3rd grade. So I'm realizing, you know, my dreams, and that's just ideal. So a lot of people aren't achieving their dreams. People have tremendous capacities, tremendous abilities, tremendous promise, tremendous talent, tremendous intelligence, but so few people are not making use of those things fully. They could do more. We talk about people being underemployed. That's the working in a job that's beneath them, below them. Well, I say there are many people who are underliving. They're living lives that are beneath them. The whole life is beneath them. They should not be living that life. They should be demanding more of life. And one reason why they are underliving, it seems to me, is because of those blocks, impediments stand between them and a better life. And some of those are outside, but the big, powerful ones are not outside at all. They are inside the person. Fear. Fear of one thing or another dominates people's lives. We are afraid of at least one thing every day. There are as many fears as one can imagine. There are thousands of fears, and people are being stopped by them all the time. There are also other inner blocks that include fear of taking risks. Stops people time and again. Time and again. Rather than taking risks, they play it safe. They don't take chances. They don't have great successes. One reason why they don't take chances to do that. Thinking too much is a block. Overanalyzing, going over something again and again and again for days, months, years, and never making a decision, never doing what they should. I have a friend who, for 30 years ago, he fell in love with Hawaii and said, "This is the place I should live. I should move to Hawaii. Yes, that's what I'm going to do." He talks about moving to Hawaii. He talks with his friends. He talks with relatives. And he never moves to Hawaii. He never moves to Hawaii. He's afraid of taking a chance. When his life isn't that good to begin with. He should have moved 30 years ago. That's what he should have done. I can't tell him that because that would be shattering to him. Thinking too much creates... The Chinese symbol for cowardice is made up of 2 characters. One is danger, and one is meaning, and the other is mind. The coward is one who finds too much meaning in things. He or she thinks too much. Often we have to stop this endless analysis and do something. Throw a stake in the ground and say, this finally is what I'm going to do. I have gone on for years about how I should start a business, that I'm dissatisfied with my work life. Yes, that's what I should do, start a business. And what happens? They never start the business. They talk about starting a business, but they never start the business. You've got to stop that. At a certain point, you've got to stop it and say, enough conversation, enough analysis. I'm either going to do it or I'm not going to do it. And preferably do it, if that's what you should be doing. If that's the best thing for you, do that. Another block, we've talked about fear of taking risks, thinking too much. Another one is self-doubt. Self-doubt stops people time and time again. The thought, the awful thought, who am I, little old me, to attempt that? I'm only me. Who am I to think that I can write a novel? Who am I to think that I can start a business? Who am I to do this? Who do I think I am? You've got to stop that. You've got to stop that. Self-doubt is, people will only do what they think they can succeed at. They will not do what they don't think they can succeed at, even if they could succeed at it, and in doing so, could achieve great things. So self-doubt stops people time and time again. More than 100 studies of 15,000 people show that those who expect to succeed are happier, healthier, and more successful. So rather than self-doubt, you have to fill yourself with expectations of success. Every time, have somebody close to you. Whenever you express a self-doubt, they are to say to you, stop that. Think positive things. Think more optimistically. And then you are to say 5 self-confident things to yourself. Every time you think of a self-doubt, you are to replace that with more positive expectations. Expect to succeed. Expect to win. Hesitating is another block. Waiting for just the right moment to call your lover up, to make your big life move, to wait until things are perfectly right and ready for action. There's no such thing as being perfectly right and ready for action. There's things that you have to do. The main emotion of hesitation is fear. Other inner blocks include laziness, bad habits, negativism, complaining, griping, nervousness, constant worry, low energy, procrastinating, difficulty staying focused on your goals, living without strong commitments. Those are common inner blocks. Should I continue?
Oh, yes.
No, can we continue?
Yes.
Okay, I'm saying that inner obstacles, this is what I want to leave with your listeners. Those inner obstacles, inner blocks, are extremely powerful, and they are ruining lives. They're nothing to joke about. These are ruining lives. They're ruining lives this very moment. They've ruined many lives. He or she broke your heart. So you say, I'm never going to involve that deeply involved again. No one is ever going to break my heart again. So what happens? You may never love again. You may never be loved again. Being afraid to give a speech in public is the number one fear in this country. People would rather fall out of an airplane than give a speech in public. That's an inner block. That has to be overcome. Waiting to start a business and getting your constant self-doubt stops you, as we've said, is an inner block. Going back and forth on decisions we've talked about, that's an inner block, and those have to be overcome. The samurai, which I use as the basis of the book, were Japanese warriors from the 9th to the 19th century. They were in the service of a lord, just as our soldiers in Afghanistan are in service of the country. What they did was something extraordinary. When they went into battle, what did they face? They faced the identical emotions that people face every day. Fear. Fear of taking risks. Thinking too much about what could go happen. Self-doubt. Am I good enough to win in this battle? And hesitation. Should I do it or should I not do it? Should I run away or should I fight? The very same things, but they did something extraordinary. They created a whole system for overcoming those things. A system for overcoming those things, and it's called Musha Shugo. And what I did was learn that. I went back in history and I learned that, and I applied it to work in everyday life in 21st century America, France, Japan, Germany, all over the world. People use this. They're happy with the book. They use the book. And they say it's original, and they say it's good, and most importantly, it's useful. It changes lives. There was an example of a woman who told me this. When she was a little girl, she was frightened by a man who tried to climb in her bedroom window and abduct her. She's a little girl. And he tried again, and he tried again. And from that point on, all her life, she was terrified and had trouble sleeping at night with the lights off. And she tossed and turned restlessly for years until she read the book. She read the book and her life changed. The fear disappeared and never came back. Two people were very discouraged. He was unable to save his business. His business was going under, and he was very worried about that. He didn't feel like going to work in the morning. He didn't want to get up in the morning, and he didn't want to go to bed at night because the next day he would have to get up again. So he sat in his living room looking at the wall. The very same thing happened to a woman. She couldn't find a job. The very same experience. Didn't want to go to bed, didn't want to get up in the morning, sat in the living room looking at the wall. Both of them read Fighting to Win. And this, to me, is the amazing thing. They felt energized and uplifted and confident merely by looking at the book. Looking at the book. So this fills me with happiness. knowing that people benefit in that way. And there are other stories of opera singers who benefited, and movie directors and so on, and they all benefited, and it makes me feel good. And one reason why is because they came to understand that blocks were stopping them, and they could overcome those blocks. The book is full of tips and techniques for overcoming blocks, and people benefit from it. I'm happy I wrote the book.
Well, that's very good, David. So, congratulations on that. Once again, congratulations on the book. Being a great motivational speaker and the traveling that you've done to get the message out. So, how long did it take for you to write the book?
To write the book?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me tell you, very important, a way of overcoming any block, fear of taking a chance, fear of solving a problem, fear of one thing or another, hesitating, and so on, is to live with a purpose in mind. Live for something. Live for something. Oh. Hello?
We're here.
Okay. Live for something more important than you are. Live for something that you almost want to accomplish. That's a purpose. That's a meaningful purpose. When you have a purpose, all hesitations, all blocks disappear, because the purpose is more powerful than those things. You can be self-doubting, but you have a purpose that you have to accomplish. Starting a new career to benefit your family so that you feel more fulfilled. That's a purpose. Saving a rainforest is a purpose. Their purposes are plentiful as there are leaves on trees, but you have to find one. You have to find one that dominates you. I started writing the book. I had an idea for the book. What happened? Long ago, I had a very discouraging period in my life. And the last straw, it seemed to me, was when I was cheated out of a lot of money in business by people I had trusted. And so I was extremely discouraged about this. So what do? I'm a reader. I read. That's what I read. That's what I do. So I read a book which changed my thinking, and it had to do with the samurai that I've become enamored of. And I decided that one day, I put it that way, one day, as people do, one day I'll do this, one day I'll do that, one day I will write this book. So I always had the book in mind. My sister was dying, my younger sister was dying in a hospital in Hawaii. She had bone cancer, and it was very painful, and there was no hope. I went to see her, and I told her that I had this book in mind, but I have a wife and 4 children to support. I couldn't take the time. I couldn't risk. Fear of taking risk. I couldn't take the risk. Maybe one day I would get around to it. And as she was dying, she was in such pain that I couldn't touch her. The pain, my touch, would bring pain to her, even more pain. So I couldn't do that. So what I did was I leaned over her as she lay in bed, and I rested my head on the pillow next to her. And she whispered in my ear, she said, "You write that book. I have faith in you." And that changed my life. I returned home and said, no matter what, I am going to write this book. It is my purpose to do this. I am going to work long hours until dawn, but I am going to do this book. I'm going to do this book for my sister. And my family, my whole family, made it their purpose. They supported me in all ways. And so I took great risks in order to do that. But I did it. And when I published it, I dedicated it to my sister. I said, in the memory of my sister Sharon, just one word, courage. So from her, I acquired a purpose. I had to do it. I had to do it. So I learned the important in people's lives of purposes. And I've told many people about purposes. Find a purpose. Find a purpose. They're all around you. Live for a purpose. One thing I've noticed in life for many years is that many people don't have intensity. They go through the motions. They go through the life day in, day out, basically the same. But they don't live with intensity. Do you know what I mean? With strong feelings, with emotions. A thrill of being alive, of achieving things, of accomplishing things, of reaching your goals, of serving your purposes. So I want to live an intense life. And when you have a purpose that you have to accomplish, the fears fall away, the self-doubt falls away, the hesitation falls away, and you become filled with strength, which in Japanese is called ryoku. Filled with ryoku, filled with strength, and that's what happens to you. That's what I found. So there are many techniques for overcoming impediments, blocks, but it seems to me that purpose is one of the more powerful of them. And so I recommend that to people again and again. I give them these words, a few words. Focus on your purpose. Say it to yourself when you rise in the morning. Today, focus on your purpose. During the day, am I focusing on my purpose? Focus on your purpose. At night, focus on your purpose. What great thing do you want to accomplish? What are you going to do with your life? Are you merely living just to live? Accomplish something. Have a purpose. Do something with your skills, your abilities, your talents, your intelligence. You know, don't settle for less. Don't live a life that's beneath you. Don't underlive. So that's what I am so strong about purposes, because they change lives. But in the book, there are many other techniques, many other things.
And the great thing about that is the motivation that you portray in your book and what I've read so far is great. Unfortunately, we're going to have to get ready to take a break, but I have some text questions coming through on my phone that I want to bring back to you. If you don't mind, we're going to go to break and come back. So we're going to put you on hold. This is your girl, Miss J.
Okay.
And tuning in just now, Miss Versatile.
And Romeo.
And we're on the phone with the great David J. Rogers, author and motivational speaker, and we'll be back.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that. Cool! That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Can you tell if the leftovers from this dinner party are beginning to grow bacteria that could lead to severe diarrhea, vomiting, and stomach cramps? Listen. You can't see it either. Get leftovers into the refrigerator as soon as possible. Spoiled leftovers can make you very sick, or worse. Roughly 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year, but you can keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Bye-bye. So the cop from Westchester County, the white guy that we were talking about the other day, he wrote me, he and his wife are a really good-looking couple, and they want a threesome with a brother, and they want to accomplish this by July. They wanted to know if I could help them, and, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know anybody. He wants me to refer to him as Bryce, and he sent me pictures of him. Bryce, wow, look at you. And wow, look at your wife. Jeez Louise. I don't know why you guys are trying to moonlight on my show to have you help with a third person.
They already have a solution.
What's their solution? You? Oh, wow.
I've already been in contact with them.
Really?
Yeah. They're listening right now, yeah. It's already set up.
Wow.
Yeah. So thank you, Wendy, for setting me up with a couple.
You might want to clear up that little bruise on your bottom lip. Whatever, nigga. Whatever. Welcome to the Bumpelstiltskin Club. I've been noticing it all day. Girls, have you noticed it?
I bit my lip yesterday.
Look at Art's lower lip.
I bit it yesterday.
He's got an open sore.
I bit it yesterday.
That's because a toe is a toe. Are you really going to hook up with him?
So, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place, and then they act so surprised when I find them, but I'm like, hello, that's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person.
Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
From north, east, south, and west, you're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the station with all the hits and the Talk Lately show weeknights at 7 p.m.
Can you tell if the leftovers from this dinner party are beginning to grow bacteria that could lead to severe diarrhea, vomiting, and stomach cramps? Listen. You can't see it either. Get leftovers into the refrigerator as soon as possible. Spoiled leftovers can make you very sick, or worse. Roughly 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year, but you can keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's the reality show to me earlier today. Who did that? I think it's in poor taste to even talk about it. I wouldn't even, you know what I'm saying? Would it be some drama for your ass?
They pitched a reality show to you.
Yeah. No. It pitched a reality show to me like, wouldn't this be a great reality show?
Okay.
It was based on a guest that we're working up for this. I told you about an NBA player's son who got a girl pregnant, and the girl is HIV positive. And football. Okay. But don't worry, she's coming. She's coming. Just figure out whether we're going to send her a ticket or just take a phone call. So he said, wouldn't that be interesting, a reality show of people finding out the results of HIV tests? Think about the drama.
But that would be a good show, though. Seriously, but that'd be a hot show. Yeah.
Don't support that. I mean, that high drama.
Now somebody else out there, white, is going to steal your idea.
Remember where you guys heard it first, please.
Welcome back. This is your show. Hello. This is Miss J.
And Miss Versatile.
And Romeo.
And we're back with author and motivational speaker David J. Rogers. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, where we left off.
Okay, I think a couple of things I want to get across before, I know we're running out of time, that no block, we've been talking about blocks. So a person can think about his or her own life and say, yes, I suffer a great deal from self-doubt. Or I'm fearful. I'm afraid of taking chances. I look at my life and I realize I haven't. There have been opportunities, but I haven't seized them because I've been afraid. But I want them to know, I want the listeners to know, that no block is a fate, a destiny. You don't have to continue being the way you've been. Personalities can change. Habits can change. Lives can be changed in an instant. I've seen that time and again. A new insight. Learning something new can change a life. We can start fresh this moment. My blog is called Starting Fresh. People can start fresh this moment, and that's the whole point. That's the whole point of the book. A cat becomes all the cat it will ever be without having to think about it. But we have to work at becoming all that we hold the promise of being. So it's not enough to say, well, I'll never do extremely well because of these blocks. You can overcome blocks. That's the whole point. You can overcome them. One time, I have a cough. At one time, I was afraid of public speaking. I didn't want to go into teaching because I couldn't imagine myself standing in front of a class teaching. But I got a job teaching, so I had to do it. So I learned to become pretty good at it. Then I went from a classroom to groups of about 20 people. Then I went to 50 people, and I felt more and more confident. Then, since then, I've gone up to thousands of people. I speak to 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people at a time. And I love it. There's nothing I'd rather do than that. And yet I started from that beginning where I was terrified to speak in public. Fear of public speaking is the major fear of the United States, probably the world. It's a very serious fear. It stops people from sometimes advancing in their careers because they're afraid to give a speech in their company or to a group or to an association and the like. And so they suffer. They don't get advanced because of that inability to do that. But it can be overcome very quickly. And I think one thing you have to do is realize in dealing with all these blocks, all these impediments, the samurai called them dragons because when we were little, we believed in dragons. They were horrible and ugly, and we were scared of them. And so we are our dragons, our inner blocks. The moment we realized they were figments of our imagination and we overcame them, they disappeared and never came back. So blocks, self-doubt, hesitation, laziness, procrastination, all those things can disappear if you, what the samurai calls, strike through the dragon's mask and overcome them, conquer them. And that can be done. That can be done. That's being done every day. The exact opposite is when nothing is done about that, and it ruins a life, and it can ruin a life. The first thing people have to do is to confront the block. An interesting laboratory was conducted. All the subjects were told that they were going to receive a painful electrical shock, and they all did. They all were shocked. There were two responses. The one response was people who took their mind off what was going to happen to them. They thought of something else. They daydreamed. The other was a totally different attitude. Those people said, I'm going to confront the block. I'm going to look at what's going on in the laboratory. I'm going to look at the plate that I'm going to be shocked on. The second type of person experienced much less stress than the first type. Those who denied, who let their mind drift away, who didn't confront the block, the shock, felt more pain. The heartbeat measurement showed that they experienced more pain, and they felt helpless. Now, those who confronted didn't feel helpless, and they felt less pain. So what I say is, life is like that. It's full of shocks. If we confront them, if we confront our blocks, our impediments, rather than avoiding them, rather than not thinking about them, we're going to be better off. We'll feel less pain in the long run. But a lot of people have trouble facing their problems. They're facing problems, especially in themselves, shortcomings in themselves. They deny them, and they don't make progress. So the first thing you have to do is confront, just like you confront getting that shock. You have to confront what the block is, and that takes sometimes a lot of courage. I know a lot of people, who are leading lives of a delusion because they never realize, they never face up to the blocks that are in them, not in somebody else. A friend who gets fired from job after job, and he says, damn employers, they're just out to exploit the workers. Rather than looking the problems in himself, he does the wrong thing in employment. He gets fired, but he doesn't admit that. A lot of people don't admit what's blocking them. But I say, I've always said this, you don't have to go off to a mountaintop and to analyze what your blocks are. I could ask your listeners right now to take out a piece of paper and a pen and write down on a sheet of paper what their blocks are, and they could do it. Mm-hmm. They don't need endless analysis. They don't have to go away someplace. They can do it right now because you always know what your blocks are. It's not a mystery. You always know. But all it takes is confronting them to say, yes, I have this block, and it's an impediment. It's stopping me. So what I'm going to do finally is to do something about it. And there are ways of doing things. And one way, of course, from my point of view, is to read the book. That's what it's all about. People change their lives. They read the book, they change their lives. Again, the book is Fighting to Win, Samurai Techniques for Your Working Life, David J. Rogers.
Well, I have a couple of questions that are in my message right now. So, Christina Johnson, she wants to know.
Christina?
Yes. About criticism. She feels as though she's being criticized at work from her boss a lot, and she wanted to get your opinion on how to deal with criticism at work.
So she's talking about being unfairly criticized.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't know what the relationship is with the boss, but if it were me, well, I'll give you an example. My son is a school psychologist, and he was being criticized by his boss. He felt unfairly. So he said to her, just went up to her and said, it really makes me feel bad when you criticize me because I think you're criticizing me unfairly, and I would like to talk about that. So they talked about that, and she realized that she was, and that was part of her personality. She had one of those aggressive, sometimes nasty personalities where she was overcritical of people. So after that, she tried to be less critical of people and more appreciative.
And you worked out for yourself?
I think always confronting the problem, not in a vicious, mean, nasty, defensive way, but in a way of, there's a problem here that can be worked out. This is the way I feel about it. Not blaming the other person, but saying, when you do that, this is how I feel. And I wanted to share that with you.
Okay. Also, we have a question from Derek about procrastination. Procrastination in starting a business.
Okay, starting a business. Well, I've done a great deal of work on procrastination. His name is Derek?
Yes.
Derek. Okay, Derek. The only solution to the problem of procrastination is not, it's very simple. It's not to procrastinate. It's not to do that anymore. And one way of avoiding procrastination is, one that we just talked about, was a purpose. If you make starting a business your purpose, if you're committed to it, if you can get yourself committed to it, and if you have both a push and a pull towards a push away from your situation now could be, the job is so unpleasant, you hate it. You hate working. I started my own business, and one of the main reasons why is I didn't like working for other people who I thought were not as capable as I was. So I said, I'm not going to take that anymore. I'm going to start my own business. So I started my own business. So I had to push away from my current situation. And a pull, the other side was, I enjoy freedom. I like to be my own boss. I enjoy freedom. So that was the pull to the new job. So there usually has to be a strong push and a strong pull. And when you have those things working, you make changes.
And with that, making the change, so people that are in the workforce, you have some who get along with their boss, you have some who just want to go in and do their 9 to 5, 7:30 to 4, whatever the time is they go in, and they're just a worker bee, and that's all they know. They don't want to progress to a next level. They just want to stay complacent. What do you say about workers like that?
Well, sometimes it's because, sometimes, there's fear of failure, and it's very prevalent. Some people are afraid of failing in the next higher job, so they stay in this job where they feel very comfortable. They're good at it. They've been working at it for years. They know all the ins and outs. They're the best at it of anybody in the company. Nobody can do any better. And sometimes they're afraid that the next job they wouldn't be able to master it. People will shy away from things that they don't think they'll succeed at. So they might be thinking that they won't succeed at that job. They're very comfortable in this job, but they would have trouble succeeding at the next job. So that could be a problem that they're facing.
So because the work right now is very prevalent because of the high unemployment rate and people are trying to get back to work and the recession, what do you think it takes? Now, I'm talking to you as the expert. Someone who is listening and says, I think I want to be a motivational speaker, or I think I want to be an author. What advice would you give them as the expert?
What advice would I give them?
Mm-hmm.
Set your mind to it and work very hard. You know, I study expertise, the development of expertise, becoming expert in anything. And one thing you'll find is people who become experts in something have worked hard at it. You know, I don't want to scare people away, but there's the 10,000-hour rule. To become an expert, a real high-quality expert in something, you have to work at it for 10,000 hours. Now, I don't believe in the 10,000 hours, but you have to work thousands of hours. And you not only, see, a lot of people have worked at their jobs for 30,000 hours, and they're not experts. That's because they haven't set their mind to becoming an expert. They've just worked. So not only do you have to put in the time, but you have to set out to become an expert in that field. And then to what they call deliberate practice. You practice those skills that are needed to do well in that field. And public speaking, it's a number of skills. You know, basically, when you are a good public speaker, you're basically an actor. So you have to have good acting abilities. And when you master those things, you can do quite well. And it's a lot of fun. But you have to put in the time. You have to learn.
You have to learn the craft in better to be able to
It's all craft. Whether you be a machinist, a public speaker, an author, a poet, whatever it might be, you've got to put in the time. Hard work. You know, like I said, a cat becomes all the cat has to do with it will ever be without having to think about it. We have to work at it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a great believer in work, in hard work.
And doing your due diligence. If you don't do your due diligence, you can't never succeed in being a better person. I think it's always about being the better you. Because you can't present yourself to anyone else if you're not a better you.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. You know, because the personality is so important, whatever you do. You look at how people are promoted in organizations. What it is personal chemistry, more than skill, more than technical skills. Now, I'm not just guessing in that. Studies show that. Why are people hired and why are they promoted? Because of their personalities, more than their technical abilities. So who you are as a person is extremely important. Charisma.
Mm-hmm.
In my book, I talk about what is called ki. Ki, K-I. There's called chi in China, ki in Japan. There are a lot of Japanese terms in my book, so the reader learns a whole new vocabulary. There are terms in my book that have no equivalent in English. They're just new. The Washington Post said that's one of the main things they found about the book that they liked most about the book was this whole new vocabulary for bringing about change in your life. And one word is ki. Now, ki stands for energy, spirit, aura. And some people have it, and some people don't. Charismatic people have it. You know, you have the experience sometimes of seeing somebody or meeting somebody, and you like them immediately. There's something about them. You just like them. Other people, you don't like them immediately. There's just something about them that you don't like. Well, those people that you like have what I call positive ki. They generate positive energy. Positive energy. You want to be around them. And those that you don't want to be around have negative ki. But there's a whole chapter in the book on developing your ki. It is so you can become literally more charismatic. And also, what ki leads to, what energy leads to, is power. So you have more power in your life, more adrenaline, more energy, more an ability to influence people, to get things done, to accomplish things. So the book talks about Shin, which is mental state, mental energy, Ki, which is physical energy, and Ryoko, which is physical strength. And it's a combination. And there are really good stories about people who have benefited from that. Shin, ki, ryoko. Ki is energy, and you can create it. There are techniques, physical techniques for increasing it in the book. And a lot of people seem to like that chapter.
But it sounds really interesting because you've touched on, in the book, you've pretty much touched on everything, as the book stated, from personal to business, business to personal. And it's very relatable to the average Joe who is a worker bee. So you don't have to be a stockbroker or the big words and, what is he talking about. You're putting it out there to everyone to understand how to put down the roadblocks. That there are no roadblocks, really. It's all in your mind.
That's right. They're in your mind. All dragons are in your mind. If you strike through the dragon's mask, overcome them, conquer them, they're gone, and they don't bother you anymore. You don't have to be self-doubting. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be timid. You don't have to be a procrastinator. You don't have to be a griper. You don't have to be any of those things. You can overcome those things. And that's the beauty. I'm a strong believer in the ability to change the personalities, to become one thing, to be one thing this moment, and the next moment be a different person. I've seen that. I know that happens. And that's one reason I wrote the book, to make that possible. And it seems to work. People seem to like it. So, and it is, I think it is relatable. I'm from the Midwest, and I don't know if your listeners know what Midwesterners are like, but they're down to earth, non-arrogant people. They value simplicity and directness. They're not pretentious. And so I tried to write a book that was not pretentious, that was understandable, that anyone could relate to, whether you be mayors, governors read Fighting to Win, but also bricklayers read Fighting to Win. Anybody can read Fighting to Win and find value in it. So I just write in everyday American English, and I avoid all statistics, either like that. It's not important to me. It's not an academic book. It is used in psychology classes, but it is not an academic book.
So if, let's say, a person that's going in for an interview, and you always get those dreaded questions that everyone does not like answering in an interview for a job. And then the big question of money comes into play, of basically how much are you worth, or how much are you looking to earn? Why do you think so many people struggle with that question of what to write down on paper, of what they're worth?
Well, I think one thing you've got to do is do some research. What is the going rate? And there are books that can look at that, and you can talk to people in the company. You get an idea of that. And, well, I'll give you another example related to that. An astonishing number of salespeople have difficulty asking for the order. They'll do the presentation. They're very good at laying out the benefits of their product, and they can deal with objections. They can overcome objections. But when it comes down to saying, okay, this will cost, $8,000, they have trouble saying that. Now, the good salespeople don't have trouble. My son, in applying for work, will come right out and say, this is the figure I had in mind. This is the figure I had in mind. Now, he's done research, so he has an idea if that would be appropriate. But he's a very confident guy, and he gets jobs. Every job he applies for, he gets. And one reason why is even the confidence that comes out in his saying, this is the amount I'm looking for. And if the employer says, we couldn't afford that, then you say, well, what could you afford? What do you have in mind? And then they talk about that. Well, that might be all right, but then again, I'm just a little uncomfortable with that. It doesn't sound exactly right. I had a higher figure in mind. And then sometimes you start negotiating, and the employer says, well, here's what we could do. Maybe we couldn't pay you exactly what you're looking for, but we could do this for you, and starts negotiating and making deals with you. But my son, is very successful with this thing. This is the figure I have in mind.
And it's all about bartering, basically.
Yeah,
Going
it
back
is.
and forth, bartering, exactly.
Yeah.
So, with the economy the way that it is in the recession, and like we said earlier, do you think people who have taken a step back from working and they're at home majority of the day, so they're online and they're getting ebooks on how to better themselves, do you think the number of people that have stopped working and either trying to start their own business or doing whatever it is to survive, the recession that hit the world, do you think they could go back to the position that they lost? Or do you think the recession, the way that it was and coming back, that they just need to go into a different direction?
Well, I think they've got to be open to anything. There was a study that was done of a plant shutdown. And the majority of people, when they were fired, laid off like everybody else, the majority of people just sat back and waited to be recalled and did nothing. Now, a minority went to extreme measures to find other jobs, another job. They did research. They went to this agency. They went to that agency. Some even left town and went to another town looking for employment. And those people, the minority that did that, have a certain kind of motivation. It's called achievement motivation. They're just more highly motivated than other people. So sometimes you're going to get a job. It has to do direct relationship or correlation with your own motivation. If you work harder than the other guy, your chances are pretty good that you're going to find something. Because even today, companies are hiring, even in the worst time for the economy, people are being hired every day. In some places, as many people were being hired as were being terminated. So you look at it that way. When I first got interested in writing books, I was told, well, it's very hard to get a book published. Like some publishers, they get 5,000 manuscripts a year that they don't even look at. And so I said to myself, yes, if I go to a bookstore, I see thousands of books that have been published. So I'm not going to think about mine won't be published. I'm going to think, I'm one of those who will be published. You see what I'm saying? Not thinking I'm one of those who won't get called back or I won't get a job, but I'm one of those who will get a job. I'm as good as anybody else. If they can do it, I can do it. And then exhaust the possibilities. Do all the research you can. Make as many contacts as you can. Talk to people. Let people know you're looking for work. And don't lose spirit. Keep your key going full blast. Don't lose spirit. Hang in there.
Exactly. Exactly. So, I'd like to thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Mr. David J. Rogers, for coming aboard at the Sugar Shack and blessing us with your aspirations, your book, and your advice to our listeners. And I would like to extend an offer, of course, for you to come back. How can our listeners find you and purchase your book?
Okay. Fighting to Win, David J. Rogers, Fighting to Win, subtitle is Samurai Techniques for Your Work and Life. And it can be found on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. Amazon is for Kindle, Barnes & Noble is for Nook. I have a Kindle. That's the only one I use. That's Barnes & Noble. But the book is costs $5.99. If you buy Fighting to Win hardcover, it could cost you the hardcover itself can cost you up to $250. So this is an awful lot cheaper. And I like reading on Kindle. I didn't used to. I used to like the physical book. But now I've been reading on Kindle so much, I've really gotten to like it. So it's not unpleasant to read.
All right. Well, we have to wrap it up. Thank you, Mr. David J. Rogers.
Well, thank you very much.
And you're welcome.
I had a good time. I enjoyed it.
Well, thank you. So did we.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So this is Miss J.
And Ms. Versatile, thank you so much for being on the show.
Romeo, thank you again.
And we are out for break.
Okay. Well, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
From north, east, south, and west, you're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
So, you know, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place, and then they act so surprised when I find them, but I'm like, hello, that's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
I'd say this, though. I love both of them for virtually the same reason. Fabulousness. I could give a rat's behind about who can authentically sing or not. However, Jennifer, you cannot hold a candle to the vocal stylings of one Mariah Carey. But judged up in the studio, who gives a damn? They make you sound good as far as I'm concerned, Jen Lo. And Mariah, Jen Lo's got nothing on your boobs, but you got nothing on that ass. Both of yous are great in your own rights. I'm not going to even feed into the feud. So that's my commentary on it. I love them both for the very same reason, yet two different reasons. Both of them have been close to Puffy at one point or another. Who's the more authentic beauty? Well, you both have had work done on your faces. So, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with it, but just let the record show. That's my opinion, by the way. You look at the noses. Nose for nose, both noses have been done. Mariah, Mimi, that new chin is looking awfully cute. Jen, your first nose still needed zhuzhing. You got it done again. It looks cute. Tasteful. Neither one of you are in the hood now, baby. I mean, both of you know, everything is tasteful on both your broads. And both you know liposuction as far as I'm concerned. Why are you wowing? What is the big deal?
It's not a big deal.
Well, then stop starting something by wowing.
Sorry.
I couldn't picture either one of you having sex crazily. You, the two of you and Beyonce, you fan your hair out and keep asking a man, what's my name? What's my name? Aren't you glad to be with me? That's what all three of you do, as far as I'm concerned. The three of you play like you can put it down, but I don't believe nothing is really popping off. Why are you oohing? Egging it on.
So, you know, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place, and then they act so surprised when I find them, but I'm like, hello, that's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
You are listening to Baltimore Exposed Radio. See, you miss a minute, you miss a lot, but I got you covered. Check out this snippet of the TLS in the morning.
And the lawsuit with LaBelle continues.
From north, east, south, and west, you're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Join the club that gives you stuff. Hey, thanks! Radio Loyalty. Here's how it works. Just click on the Radio Loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then, you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for stuff in the Radio Loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple, right? Radio Loyalty. Click that banner to join now.
So, you know, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place, and then they act so surprised when I find them, but I'm like, hello, that's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Before you hit the runway, make sure you know the do's and don'ts of the fashion world.
I competed in the Thurgood Marshall model search competition where they went through all HBCUs and they picked one male, one female African American, and you would go to Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. I won as the male, and then I met this girl from FAMU who went. The experience was awesome. We got to meet Tyson Beckford, Vanessa Williams, and blah, blah, but I had to know when I went there that you're not about to be doing any swing, any switching, no twisting, and no turning. And you need to make sure that you're not doing any pivot twists. You're stopping at the top, getting your 3 seconds, and you're walking your ass off. And sometimes when you come from Baltimore, what I've learned about models in Baltimore is that they are so big-headed.
Big-headed.
Like, oh my God, like,
very big-headed.
because you can do 45 whole turns, that doesn't mean anything. Like, because you learn from, I'm not gonna say that name, but because you learn from somewhere and somebody taught you how to do all this shit, that means nothing. So don't come into my model call and think you're the shit and then tell me, well, so-and-so taught me. Bitch, go back to them and tell them I said they can come for free and we will teach them the right way. And people don't know that. Like, even girls, some girls don't know that. And runway, you can't do all that swing and all that. You have to have a simple ass walk when you go into, like, New York Fashion Week and different. They don't want to see all that.
For more of the Jonathan Rashawn Show, be sure to tune in live on Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, it's your girl, Miss J.
And Miss Versatile.
And Romeo.
And our great engineer, Sir Robbie, in the house. So, thank you, author and motivational speaker David J. Rogers, for blessing us with his presence today at the Sugar Shack. And right now, part of that topic of discussion about self-doubt and procrastination falls along this topic just a little tiny bit. Grudges. People who hold grudges. Do you know anyone, have you experienced anyone who holds a grudge forever and a day? Give us a call, 1-855-835-5857, extension 1, or you can text us at 443-642-9403. So I bring that up because we all know if someone makes us mad, how it feels. It could be hurtful, it could be a vendetta, it could be whatever, and you're mad at that person. But the person who did the dirt to you has gotten over it and moved on, but you're still holding on to what someone has done to you. So the question I asked is, how long should someone pay for their mistakes? Around the room.
Not to be all spiritual, but I know if we want to be forgiven for our mistakes, then we too have to forgive. I guess depending on what happened. I mean, I forgive automatically, like instantaneously. I will forgive. But
see, I'm laughing because you know I don't.
Instantaneously, for a biblical and spiritual reason, I will forgive. But I won't forget, and I may kind of, linger on to the feeling. But as far as, okay, I forgive you, I will forgive you. But I will not forget for a while, for quite some time. And then with prayer, hopefully and prayerfully, I will be able to let certain things go.
See, I can those who know me know that I can let things go, but it really depends on what was done to me, because prayer does help. And I know I've forgiven people before, and I believe in giving people a second chance. But a discussion me and my mom had about God gives you enough rope because he's busy at the time. She and I had a discussion. He's busy at the time, so whatever you did, he's just going to give you enough rope. And then when he comes back to you, he's going to see how much rope he's given for you to hang your own self. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Thank you. Because people do tend to hang themselves.
All the time.
And with that question, how much rope do you think a person deserves? So you have between a 1 and a 12-inch rope. How much rope do you think a person should get from you?
5.
5 inches? That's it? That's not a lot.
Exactly. So that
It's right in the middle.
Yeah, so that means you should have enough to do what you know not to do. You have enough rope to know what not to do to hang yourself.
So if a person is a serial screw up and they just keep doing stuff to you, at you, and you just keep forgiving them, but like I said, I give you 2. I give you 2 times. You know, basically, I'll forgive you the first time, and then you're going to come back and do something else. That's it. I then walked off and closed the door. I see you, and then I don't see you. So you can be standing right in my face. I see you, and I don't see you. But that's just me. Some people might think that that's wrong, but that's how I do mine.
So let me ask you this: as far as holding grudges, with an ex, how long would y'all hold a grudge if they was to, let's say, get you incarcerated for their doing?
Oh no, it's no forgiving.
There's no forgiving.
There's forgiving.
No.
There's no forgetting. It has to be forgiving.
If somebody gets me locked up, you think I'm going to forgive them? Now, if I did it, then I'm not going to.
I don't want to get all. Because I am not a holy roller or anything, but I am a firm believer. If we want God to forgive us for the things that we do, we have to be able to forgive other people.
Okay. Prime example. I can give you many examples of this. You're in a car accident, right? And the person could be a relative. The person could be a friend. They file a claim. Well, the person that you hit files a claim. But the person that wasn't driving, which was you, in turn gets a phone call because the person that was actually driving said that you were the one that caused the accident. Would you forgive them?
I would still. I would. If I, not to put my personal business out there, if I forgave my ex-husband for domestic violence and physical abuse towards me, I can forgive anybody.
Kudos. But
if anybody out there listening, if y'all want to join in, call us at 1-855-835-5857, extension 1, or you can text us at 443-642-9403.
But with that, so once again, you're in a car accident and you're getting ready to get hit with money that you didn't do. What's the word I'm looking for? You got put into a situation you didn't ask to be placed in. You were just a passenger. But the person that is driving the car has either whatever they got going on in their record, and they're going to put you as the person that was driving to cause this accident.
Oh, I'm not going to say that may get an ass whipping, but I'm going to forgive them. They're going to have to forgive me for that ass whipping, too.
Oh, my goodness. So that's why I need to explain it again, because there's no way I'm going to jail or I'm going coming out of pocket for you setting me. That's a setup. You don't think that's a setup?
It is a setup.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, I would forgive them, but they're gonna get an ass whipping.
See, I like the ass whipping part. I'm not about the forgiving part because
This power wants you to defend. Just forgive and ass whooping.
You must not have seen my post today. You know, a lot of people get that today. God wants you to know. Well, today mine was God wants you to know that forgiveness is a virtue.
it is.
You have to forgive others. Forgive yourself.
Once again, as a better you. And you, like I said, those who know me know I'm a very forgiving person, and I think with my heart. So the scenario, because I've known a couple of people that were put in this position, and they're sitting back like getting phone calls and collections and everything because somebody that they thought were their friend or family put them in this situation, and then they have to defend themselves. So not only do they have to defend themselves, they might have to come out of pocket to prove their innocence, and they were the passenger and not the driver. Thank you. So, would you forgive someone, Robbie, like that?
Repeat the question again.
So, you are the passenger in a car.
In the car.
The person that's driving has a record or whatever is going on. You both go to the hospital because the person that is driving next to you, your driver, caused this accident. You get a phone call from the people that you hit, attorney or insurance company, saying that, okay, you caused this accident. You're like, whoa, what are you talking about? I'm the passenger. So now you have to prove yourself because you thought your family member / driver or friend wouldn't set you up like that. Do you think that's a setup?
No, because I didn't do nothing. So that's that. I'm not paying anything. I'm not paying anybody. I wasn't a driver. No.
I feel like it is a setup because
I mean, well, yes.
If you know that you're the driver and you know I was on the passenger seat, own up to what the hell you did.
Simple.
Yeah.
Could you forgive them? Because this is going to, you're proving, you have to prove yourself.
It depends on their
intentions.
Their level of responsibility.
Their level of responsibility, but they intentionally said, oh no, I wasn't the driver. They made an actual statement, a recorded statement.
Then you go to the Miss versus House subject and whip that ass.
Well,
I'd be like, you know what? After this whole thing is done with, don't talk to me anymore because you're a liar and you trying to get me put in jail, and I can't have that.
Yeah, see, and it's a lot of different scenarios that could happen with that. You could go to jail. You could be looking at some serious money because they didn't put you in a situation that you knew nothing about because, okay, you two go to the hospital. You're in separate rooms being seen, and they're giving a separate statement and then don't even tell you until you get a phone call saying you owe $15,000, $10,000 for damages.
Get your baby. That's what they're going to need today.
Because that's what I said. I know about 2 people in a situation like that, and that I know I couldn't forgive that. Me personally.
Yeah. I sticking by my. I'm gonna have to forgive.
Well, that's good. You know.
After she whips.
I mean, I'll forgive him, but I'm not your friend anymore.
Right. Exactly. I may not be your friend again, but I have to forgive.
So you have to forgive, but you won't forget, nor will you be their friend.
See, I have a heart, so
right. So
I'm not gonna. If they're in need, I probably will do something for them if they're in need. Like it has to be something dire. Look, Jay's like everybody getting cut off, and they just getting cut off. Sometimes I wish I could be like that. I probably would have less stress in my life.
I used to be like, once you learn to cut people off, you notice that a lot of things in your life go smoother.
Cut that bitch off. Sorry. Off. Let's talk about some community news.
Yes. What's going on?
The Maryland Board of Public Works has voted to cut about $77 million from the state budget to address underperforming state revenues. The board voted 3-0 on Wednesday for the cuts. The board, which includes Governor Martin O'Malley, Comptroller Peter Franchot, and Treasurer Nancy Kopp, also approved about $7 million in fund transfers to make up for the less expected revenue. More budget cuts.
What? My thing is, okay, why? Where's the money at? Where's the money for the city of Baltimore at? What hidden bank account, in a sock drawer? Where is the money for the city of Baltimore? I don't understand. I heard the other day that your mayor, is giving funding.
Your mayor.
She's not my mayor. I don't live here anymore. So your mayor is giving funding for the nutrition program. So my thing is, if you have money to do that, where's the money for the recreation centers that they've been closing? That's my whole thing. I totally disagree how they cut the funding. There's no money, but yet you can do all this overtime for police officers and all this extra stuff where the kids, the youth of Baltimore, Maryland need activities. They need after-school programs. They need to have these things in place. And just like they set the budget for how many months in advance, they need to find the money before the summertime hits to fund these recreational centers. And I just need some type of clarification. And as many of the politicians that we know, I'm definitely going to bring them on the show in the next few weeks because we need to know where the money is instead of we're going to do. The city of Baltimore doesn't want to hear we're going to do. No, they want to get her out of office because she's done so much. Not good. But, that's another subject. So.
Okay. Banned 190 proof grain alcohol is taken off shelves. So, the sale of 190 proof pure grain alcohol is officially illegal in Maryland. The legislature passed the ban this spring and ordered it to be removed from shelves this week. Now, another bottle's already been taking its place, the bottle 151 proof bottle. It's slightly less dangerous to drink, but still about twice as potent as the typical vodka and legal to purchase. Drug expert Mike Gimble supports the ban. He predicts it'll do little to combat underage. It'll do little to combat underage drinking. As long as you've got a beer bong and Four Loko and vodka and tequila, these kids are going to take in mass quantities, states Gimble. Susan Auld, the owner of York Liquors in Towson, has spent almost 2 decades tracking what drinkers are demanding. She believes bans necessarily does not solve the problem.
No, it doesn't. Now, is this like potent like moonshine?
And that's what I'm trying to figure out because, being from a Jamaican and West Indian background, we drink Wray and Nephew overproof rum, and it's 180 proof. So it's like 10, I don't know, percent less than the 190. But it's over 180 proof. It doesn't say 190, but it's over 180 proof. So, but that's been sold for years.
So, as a person that's not really a drinker,
I'm not a drinker either.
So, this 180, 190, is it gonna like burn the lining of your stomach? Like what? We're gonna come back.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get some research and
and
follow back up with you and come back with that information for you guys.
We'll definitely do that.
And former Prince George's executive Wayne Curry died. He died today at his Upper Marlboro home. His family said in a statement he was 63 and had lung cancer. Democratic Governor Martin O'Malley Martin O'Malley said in a statement that Curry oversaw a transformative period for the county with explosive population and economic growth. He says Curry was fearless in advancing causes that helped Maryland's African American community. Curry, a Democrat, was elected in 1994 as the county's first African American executive and served for 8 years. Former state attorney Glenn Ivey tells WTOP that Curry helped create the image of Prince George's County as a place where economic development could really take off. He calls Curry a towering figure who had a great knack for closing the deal.
Well, close the deal on that.
Rest in peace, Wayne Curry.
Rest in peace, Wayne Curry. So, I had a great show today with you guys.
Thank you.
Great guest.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, it is almost time to wrap this up. At the Sugar Shack is on Big Exposed Radio, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Guess who we got coming up next?
Talk Lately with Money. Yeah. Talk Lately with Money.
Yay! And guess who else?
The Jonathan Rashawn Show. Tonight from 8 to 9. And then from 9 to 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They got 2 nights out. Congratulations,
Congratulations, guys. Exactly. So, as usual, we're going to wrap this up. This is your girl, Miss J. And I have to my left
Miss Versatile.
I have to my right.
Romeo.
And I have in the center
The engineer.
Robbie. Yay! Everybody have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night.